So I was expressed interest in explaining why I use Everlasting slip bobber brand slip bobbers as opposed to all the other brands. Now, I'll preface that by saying I've been through quite literally hundreds of dollars in messy from the day here from slip bobbers to know what I know and know what I don't like and what I do. There are a couple mainline brands that I like, but they still wear out quick. And the reason for that is because they don't have any protection against the line cutting into the plastic at the end of the tube or the beginning. And with most of these, this is a more advanced one I'm going to show you. This is a weighted rainbow tackle brand, similar to a Kamal. It's a different type of foam. It's a lower grade than what's in an ESB. It's the kind they make coolers out of, basically. The ones that the ESB uses are more of a automotive bumper type foam. It's very dense and light. So this one's components are, it's got a collar in it with a very small hole. It's a bonus. It means you don't have to worry so much about a bead. In fact, you really don't need one if you don't want, as long as you have a good stop for the bobber stop. I don't use the thread ones anymore. I use a rubber one. Now, I'll show that right now. I get these off of eBay. They're like, I think it was $7 for 120 of these little tiny things. You see my fingernail, fingernail for comparison to size, like this. They're very, very tiny. These ones that I buy, they actually go through the guides of even my lightest ultralight. They're amazing. And they're cheap. I don't know how they manufacture them. I don't care. They work. And they're perfect for this. Now, I bought this weighted one at Sportsman's Warehouse in Sholo or Payson. I don't remember which town it was up there. I don't like them. The weight is too much. You almost have to have no weight. And then at that point, it's enough weight to set it up straight for the line to go down. It'll set up straight every time, fine and dandy, but you have to have enough weight to pull the line through. So all of a sudden, instead of it sitting like this in the water, it's like this. Fuck that noise, okay? I hate that crap. And it's got the regular plastic collar at the bottom, you notice. So it's got one good thing for it with this push-in piece that eliminates having to have a bigger size stop knot. Kudos to them for that. The weights, the hell with that. I took the weight off the other one I'm using right now on one rig. Only reason I still have it is because I haven't gotten more ESBs in yet. So, the ESBs in comparison, this is one of the first ones I bought. Now, I started buying ESBs like 3 years ago. And this one's been through and smacked and crushed, and you can see fingernail marks in it. I mean, I've picked catfish out of the water with it, pushing the stop nut off my line. But here's the deal. There is a brass collar, and the glass bead is in the top. Very important. It's an actual machined bead. Every one of these slip bobbers in every size he has, 1 through, I believe, 6 right now. He's trying to get a 7 and an 8, I believe. The same centerpiece size is there with both the machined glass bead and the collar. That does not change. The length of the tubes does, according to the size, but the diameter of all this is the same. So if you're going ultralight, like this is for crappie mainly, crappie bluegills, small 16th ounce jigs, that type of thing, you can go from that to all the way up to one they use for steelhead, which is a size 6, I believe. Steelhead and catfish, basically. And use the same hooks, if you want. Same swivels. And because they're so small, I have these little tiny, like, size 10 swivels. They're almost not even swivels, really. That is so that I have more line-on-line contact. It eliminates a lot of issues that you would typically have with using bigger swivels. Now, that being said, I have some bigger swivels when I go way big in my tackle. But there's only one brand right now of hook I use with my setup, because what I use is the slip bobber, swivel, and a spin shot hook that has a collar that's actually a swivel without the barrel in the middle, basically. It's just a solid piece of steel that's wrapped on both ends for eyelets, and the hook is in the middle. Just like this. See? Now this is a size 8. It's very small. This is a panfish only, pretty much. Panfish, trout. That's what I use these for. So that's a size 8. Right now, I have... only other ones I have are size 10s. I typically keep size 4, size 6 for my girlfriend because she likes those size ones. There's a size 2 from Gamakatsu. It's a different brand, but they still have their own thing going on. And then I have 30 off of eBay. If you're going to buy these hooks, buy them on eBay. They're so much cheaper than the store. Size 1. Size 1 is more for like the catfish, carp, that size. And then for the big fish, like big bass with live bait and whatnot, I've got the size 1 aught bait keepers. But I'm also now trimming that range of things down because I'm getting different hooks for that purpose, and I'm getting the number 6 size. I use number 5 for general all-purpose. I'm getting size 6s because I need that extra buoyancy for live shad and whatnot. But I also use, in my drop shot style, this is a 1/8 ounce tungsten ball drop shot. I find it's more important because I want it to sit and sit on the bottom instead of sitting there doing this like the typical drop shot ones that are cylindrical. I hate those damn things. So I have those for drop shots, and also Jico rigs, which I'll show you in a second. I also have number 5 stainless split shots. I use 2 of those on a drop shot. It drops the size bobber I have, this 5s, perfectly for no matter what bait I have on it. I also do Jico versions, Zika versions, which is the newer Japanese style where they don't do drop shots, they do it right on the hook. And then I have, like, this is a 3/0 with a 1/8 on it. And the bass don't even realize the hook's there because, you know, here you are with one of these craw thingies on there, and they forget all about that. I also use this size, like I showed you, with my mini craws. You'll see that there's a tad bit of difference. These are panfish craws. Very deadly on panfish, by the way. So I've changed concepts around a little bit. I've learned more and more. I've got a cast net now, and man, I tell you what, that cast net, it lets me catch some pretty good bait. But it's a philosophy. Unless I'm using a swim bait or a jerk bait or a bottom like the Zika rig with the craws, I don't use anything but a drop shot slip bobber rig because I can see everything that happens. I can't feel my fingers, so I have to do it by tension in my forearm. And you know, the feeling's coming back a little bit in my fingers over time, a little bit. But those are in general what I do with the split spin shots and my drop shot rigs like that. I also have for really small minnows, if I want to go for crappie and bluegill, little tiny size 10 bait keeper. They're called stingers, mosquito hooks by Owner. I've got a variety of them, the reds and other ones. And I'll use a little bit more lighter weight with this size 1 ESB. Then I have little tiny size 14 drop shot hooks. They've got that curve on the back. I can put those on a drop shot with like a piece of cheese or a little tiny piece of hot dog to go for the bluegill because they see a smaller piece. They think it's easy pickings. They're on the line. But yeah, that's my general philosophy in my regular type of fishing I do with my girlfriend. But you can see the quality on this bobber is not bad, but this foam, it sucks. It's heavy, it's cumbersome, then they put a weight on it on top of that. It's cheap for them to make. They don't last that long, but they're like $2.99 for a 2-pack, so people don't give a fuck, they use it. I want my shit to last forever. I'm a fucking redneck, I have no money, okay? So, I've got this shit here. Look at that. Machined in glass bead. It's glass, not plastic. It will not straighten the line. Brass cap. Shit's badass, ain't it? And then this big ass like coffee straw type material straw here. And basically automotive bumper foam, or EPP, I should say. Very light, very dense, closed cell foam. This thing, it'll take almost 1/8 of an ounce to pull it under the water. It's buoyant for its size. It's very, very small. So those are my preferences. But I wanted to show why I do that. The Zika rig with the weight right on the hook, when it goes on the bottom, it sits there, and whatever we have on it, it does that stand up, like that defensive posture, which is why these little craws, these chug craws, work so good like that. Smallmouth and the rocks, oh my god. It's what I should have taken up north with me instead of my ultralight, to be honest. I would have gotten walleye and smallmouth instantly. So, I just kind of wanted to go into detail on this, and also show you what I mean by the difference between these cloth ones. I'm gonna destroy one of my cloth ones. These are higher end cloth. It's basically just thread. You put it on the line. You slide it over your line, slide it off, pull the knot on the line. It's small enough to go through the hooks, but over time it absorbs water and expands. Then you got to keep tightening it. Fuck no. These never need tightening, ever. There's a big difference. No. Don't ever use the threaded ones again. Go on eBay, get 120, 140, 200 for like $10, and they last for fucking ever, man. Unless you're changing gears and you're taking them completely off, that's all you ever need, really.